Francis Maxwell here from TYT Sports. Happy to be on Spurred On. What a game it is, lads, this weekend. Crucial tie against your close rivals, Arsenal. So without further ado, let's talk some tactics. So the first thing I'm going to do is highlight the team that I imagine Tottenham will go with to start with. So Trippier, Alderweireld and Wimmer and Davis at the back. If Dembele is fit, I'd love to see him in there. I think him and Dyer have great chemistry in the middle of the park. They both interchange well, and specifically when playing against Arsenal with Mesut Ozil, if I was a Tottenham fan, would feel a lot more comfortable with Dembele in there. Lamela, Eriksen, Ali and Kane. I want to see Ali back into the starting lineup, specifically for a reason I'll mention in a minute. Nonetheless, the first thing I want to do is highlight a small defensive issue that I would be wary of if I was a Tottenham fan, because Arsenal did this against Swansea, found success. They didn't do it enough, and I imagine if Wenger's intelligent, he'll be doing this a little bit more so to try and cause some chaos amongst the back four of Tottenham. So what you'll see happen, right, is Olivier Giroud often checks back into this area, right? And in doing that, he'll pose a question to the defender, whether it's Wimmer or Alderweireld, to step with him. I want this to be a conscious decision from the defender, if I was a Tottenham fan, to say, no, I want you, Dembele, to pick him up in this area. This will allow me to stay stable, allow me to continue to be more compact in this back four, because what happened against Swansea, the defender followed him just enough to leave this area in here, and it caused a ripple effect for Swansea. They all moved over just a little bit. They were a little bit out of sync. And what happened when Bellerin moves forward, as he likes to do with the ball, is Giroud didn't find the ball into feet, so he made this decoy run. If he does this more often than not, it's going to cause a problem. And what he did there is the centre-back followed him. And so his fellow centre-back got dragged in with him. If that is the case, then all players need to be on the same page. They all need to shuffle across. Because what happened with Swansea is this big gap here ended up becoming so much space for Joe Campbell to find his way into. Joe Campbell is a more central-minded winger, and by saying that, I mean he's going to try and find the ball in this area rather than finding the ball out here. So he's going to try and check in here. Bellerin gave him the ball. He had a poor shot that was deflected out to Ozil, but he continued his run, and where did he end up? In this gap that was formed from Swansea, not making a conscious decision to pass on Giroud to your holding midfielder. That's what they're there for. They're there to protect. If you get enough men behind the ball, you don't need to step out from that bank of four. And in doing this, I think it will prevent some problems for Tottenham. But let's get to the good stuff. What Tottenham can do to exploit Arsenal's weakness at the back. So bear with me, this is going to come hard and it's going to come fast. You have to keep up. What did Swansea do to get their first goal against Arsenal? They alternated their movement. They had a striker check to, posed a question of that big man at the back who not enough teams pose a question of, and that's Mertesacker. Because Shelny being out is a huge plus for Tottenham. You want Mertesacker to be caught in two minds because he's not comfortable in that chaotic environment. He gets almost in his own head. Do I step to the ball? Do I drop? I'm not quick enough. How do I read this situation? With Harry Kane up top, one of the most intelligent, I would say, mobile strikers in the game, you want to exploit this. So what I want to highlight is how Swansea got their first goal. Yes, it was a poor free goal kick into this area. Swansea picked up the ball right about here. But Arsenal still had 4 or 5 players behind the ball. So what did Swansea do, which was more intelligent than most teams would do in that situation? They waited. They took their time and planned their attack. They were quick in how they basically executed it, but they had this set out as soon as they would turn over possession. Yes, the goal kick gave them an opportunity, but they were trying to do this all game by pressing high up the field. This is why I like Ali in that area, because he's very good at snuffing out space and pressing the ball high. So what happened with Swansea is the ball was found in here. What did Swansea's striker do? He didn't play on that last man and try and get the ball into feet, and it would allow Arsenal to get men behind the ball. He sprinted towards the man, and he was a decoy. And what this did, basically, was this posed a question for Mertesacker. He didn't know whether to step with him or hold his position. He hesitated. That hesitation basically landed him in this area, and it allowed for this gap through here, which I want to see Dele Alli or Lamela exploit. Harry Kane, if he checks to the ball ferociously, I'm talking about, this is what used to be taught of strikers I played with back in the day, is they would be like, feet, feet, feet. But in their mind, they would be thinking, I don't want that ball. I just want to drag out this centre-back with me. And Mertesacker, he'll follow. He's like, oh, here, boy, I'm going to come out. I'll take it. No problem. Give me that bait. And he steps to, and he allows for that gap in behind, and Swansea exploited it so well. Mertesacker left this gap open, bang, and it was swiftly in the back of the net, and Swansea were willing away in success because they had planned that. Tottenham are good at high pressing. When they drop too deep, as you see against for West Ham's, I would say several chances in the first half, it becomes a little bit dangerous in there. Tottenham, for me, are good at snuffing out space, and they can pin Mertesacker to the decision of either stepping to or dropping deep. And in doing so, I think Tottenham can find some success. In saying that, I'm excited for this game, looking forward to it. Thanks for having me on here on Spurred On. Make sure to come over to TYT Sports, see more tactics talk. Hit me up on Twitter. I'll be live tweeting the game very early in the morning here in LA. I think it's like 4:45. Jesus Christ, I may as well just stay out from the night before. at Francis_Maxwell, and at TYT Sports. Thanks, guys.
Okay, this game is the biggest game